haven't seen that movie.
Dude, it's so funny. Well, not funny. It's really fun and crazy.
I watched that on that was my first date with someone. I watched Project X.
Wow.
Yep.
That is some date.
We dated for 4.5 years.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Wow.
That's cool. Fuck. It's a long time.
That's what that movie was. Fuck.
Alright, Karla, you ready? You got your shit?
Alright. Peace. I ate some grapes. Yeah, of course.
He expects 21 gifts.
Ah, that hurt.
Alright. Give you $21.
Give you one right now.
Oh.
That was for Nan, not anyone else watching.
20 minutes to go.
Alright, Karla. Well, actually, I'm gonna pee real quick.
Looks like I was talking to you through the screen and now you're here. I know. Magic.
I do that to the time sometimes.
What?
Like when he's like doing his Facebook Live, I'll be like, hi. And I'll just drive over. And I'll be like, hi. I won't even tell him. Like, ding dong. Hi.
Oh god.
Come on.
I'm in such a strange mood right now. Me too. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I missed a few things here.
I want to know, have you ever heard of them? It's like a list of questions. I think they post it many times. Like 36 questions that make you fall, like, that will make you fall in love or something like that. What the? That's what I want to talk about.
Okay, ready?
What is that for? No, but.
Let's do it.
I need a coffee after my morning.
What do you mean? I do too. I have nothing this week.
Oh shit, I do too.
For what?
There's so many things going on. Wow.
Let me just move this one. I don't need this one. Cool. Facebook, Twitch, and Twitch for you. Alright. That's Karla. First time. It's funny, I think you gave up your Twitch spot for Kevin, I think, a long time ago, no? And then, because you gave up one of your spots. And,
because I couldn't do it.
And then Kevin took it, and now you're taking
now
his.
Kevin's. That's funny. Life's a full circle.
So, what's up? You came ready? Came ready to share some things?
To share some things. I don't know where to start.
It doesn't have to be in order. It can be in any order you want.
Okay. Well. Let's read my diary.
Can you get me hummus and the crackers?
Where is it?
Somewhere upstairs. The hummus should be in the fridge, and there should be crackers somewhere.
So, I'm having a hard time being honest. What?
No, that's that green. That's your audio level.
Okay. With my parents.
Okay.
So I like to write it down because there's kind of a language barrier.
I see.
And then, I don't know, I just feel like they wouldn't understand. So I wrote this down the other night when I decided I was going to drop out. This was before I actually called my mom. But oh my god, I can't read this.
dropped out of college?
After 2 years. Okay. No one ever said it was easy. I knew that. I'm not giving up. I'm just finding another way to get there. I never believed that you could do anything if you put your heart into it. I want to change that. I want to be that living proof for you guys. I thought life was predestined. Talent, luck, all of it. But life is too short to think that way. I want to live. I don't want to be unhappy. Mom, Dad, I love you. I know you sacrificed everything to give me these opportunities, but it's not the path for me. I hope you can still love me, and I hope you can trust that my passion will bring me to success. I promise I will share it with you when I get there. I just need you to believe in me. So, yeah. That's it. And then I called my mom. What? That was what? I don't even remember when.
Yeah.
And I feel like the only reason it went okay was because she doesn't believe me.
Okay.
And so I don't know how to like go about that. And then like same with my dad. Like I texted him, but I don't think he was like really getting the point. Yeah. So that's that. And I feel like I just started like building a bond with them, I guess.
Okay.
Because growing up was kind of weird and I was like rebellious.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just got close and I'm like, I guess, afraid to destroy that because kind of weird. And I was like, I know this is what I want to do, but so in their eyes, close and I'm like, I guess, I don't know. Afraid to destroy. Prob's not too happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is what I so yeah, do, but in their eyes, that's where I am. But I noticed that I feel much happier, and I guess I just feel more independent and like not stuck.
Okay.
/ lost / doing the normal going to college after you graduate high school thing. Like I'm doing my own thing now. Yeah. I don't really know what to say about it. Like it's just kind of happened. And like I was scared before, but now I'm not. And I think the reason I'm not is because there's so many people that are like living proof of it's gonna be fine. So yeah, that's that. I don't know if you have anything to say.
Do I have anything to say? I don't know what brought you to that shift. That's always interesting. Let them know.
I hated going to class. I thought it was a waste of my time and my money. Especially because like music business. I had no motivation, which was weird because like the past 2 years of school, like I was like totally into it. I loved it. I was like on top of my shit. And then I don't know, man. All of a sudden this semester I was just like, wow, I like don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this. And it wasn't because it was like hard or anything, but like I kind of pictured myself graduating and then like going through the whole internship, and I was just like, I don't want to do that.
Like I don't know. I say I don't know a lot because I don't know.
You sure you don't know?
I don't even know why I say I don't know, but I love you, Martin. Yeah. I don't know. I have nothing to say about that. Like, it happened. I'm happy now. It's whatever. I'm not really scared anymore. Obviously, a lot of my friends are concerned, which is nice.
Yes.
But it can be frustrating when they don't really listen, and they're just like, oh, but like, don't you want to like graduate and like have something to like be happy that you accomplished it or whatever? And I'm like, no, because I want to accomplish something else. I don't know, it's so crazy. Like, it happened so fast. Like, even like last week, like I would have never thought that I was gonna drop out.
I was just watching. Because
Yeah.
I can't tell. I have to wait until something happens. Okay.
So now my only concern is like living, because I definitely don't want to go back home, because that's not an environment where I feel like I can keep growing. And I want to stay here. So I'm probably gonna like fake live at my dorm right now. Yeah. I just got fired because I was a temp.
Lit.
So I'm looking for a job. I'm pretty broke, but it's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I have a month, so yeah. I don't know. Do you have any questions? I suck at talking, so.
No, that's cool. Nothing's popping up immediately. Did you want to? Did y'all have questions? Homegirl dropped out of school.
What if you can't find a job?
Only losers can't find a job. I'm like not kidding.
Yeah, I feel like it's really not that hard to find a job. It is for some people because they don't like putting themselves out there. But I think I'll be fine.
Are you asking her like what if she can't? Oh, okay, yeah. Like what are you gonna do?
What am I gonna do? What do you mean by that?
No, I think like if you can't find a job, what are you gonna do? You're gonna keep
Keep
doing
looking for a
until
job?
you find a job.
Yeah. Because my priority is saving money. So I can buy my stuff and then get more into music and produce and stuff. But I need money. So, yeah. And like, I felt like in school I was just losing money and I didn't have the time to do what I wanted to do. So, that's that.
I'm low-key scared for you, but I'm so happy. Weren't you scared
Yeah,
for
that's
yourself?
cool.
It's just funny because like he was like in a similar boat when he called me. He was like, guess what? I bought my car. Guess what? I'm getting kicked out of my house. And then they're all like talking to Charlie and Peter and like being worried. I'm like, what's there to worry about? It's fucking lit, bro. Like you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're following your heart.
Metro.
And you'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like you don't have loser running through your DNA. Like you're gonna make it. I'm like, live in your car if you have to, or like tap into your network and just grind. My Metro booming.
It's kind of cool. Like, I wonder where I'll be in like a few months. Like, I feel like it could be anything. But I'm excited.
What you'll be or where you'll be?
Both.
Oh, okay. Yo, people change a lot over a few months. Like a lot.
Mhm.
Oh my god. When I was listening to Justin's podcast, and I was like, dude, he's not even this person anymore. It's only been. I'm like, damn. And then same with this guy. Grind life equals no life sometimes. I feel that, but I mean, I'm always gonna bring this up to you, my guy, my Marnith guy, and I'm glad that you have a good head on your shoulders. My catchphrase is "but," like it doesn't have to be that. You know what I mean? Like if you have an ambition, like put in the work, and I you may or may not be doing that. You can get, you can do whatever you want.
What does he mean by that?
He works a lot.
Oh.
Like 5 days a week.
Mhm.
And overnight shift. And like, like, he knows what he wants. And I'm just here trying to be like, go man, go. Like, put in the time. Because if you're willing to put in the time to make money, you should be willing to put in the time to invest in what makes you happy. So, but he'll get there if he's not already thinking about it.
Kevin said, "What's the next step?" Finding a job. Yeah, I applied for a information specialist position at DCU. Yeah, I can't really. I mean, for now, I'm just like trying to learn a bunch of stuff about Ableton and music and stuff. Just so I'm familiar with it. Because I've always wanted to produce. So I'm glad I have the time now. Because I feel like if I was in school, like I'd be just so like concerned about my classes that I wouldn't even like have time to learn anything that was relevant to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, did you tag me?
Yeah.
Great. I'm still confused about the whole thing you were talking about today.
What
At
exactly?
your workshop.
What was I talking about?
The whole love thing.
Like what?
Oh, I wrote it all down.
Oh, you wrote it down.
Yeah.
Excuse me. This is nuts. Yeah, dude, life is nuts. It's fun. I mean, you're having fun, you're living your life. I'm proud of you.
I started writing stuff down because I feel like I have a hard time saying things verbally.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I write, it just kind of flows.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's fun. This is fun. I like it. And then, like, I don't care if people read it. Like I wrote.
So are you gonna...
Read the thing from today?
Well, whatever you were just referring to. Which I love.
Yeah. So I said, I'm confused. I'm not understanding because I don't necessarily agree with you. Are you saying I'm supposed to love everyone and everything equally? ?
Mm-hmm.
I can't really control the amount of passion I have for someone or something.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, if someone's actions annoy me, I can still love them. If that's what you were referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Or if that was one of them. The levels of love, I don't think they're the same. I don't know. I don't know on paper too. I have too many people in my life to really think about that right now. I just know that usually I can remind myself to love someone even if we've had struggles. I feel that way about strangers on social media too, I think. I don't know. There's a lot of loopholes in this question. So maybe that's why I'm confused. You're gonna have to ask me something pretty specific if you want a solid answer. My mind is so broad and I end up lost in my thoughts. Honestly, if I think about it, I can love anyone. It's probably because of my fascination with humans. I accept this for the human race that we are, and we only have each other in this world, so I like to embrace everyone in it. Even the bad guys. LOL, it's weird. Hashtag that's why Orochimaru was my dad. I feel like I lost track. I don't know. If there's any wall in my heart, it's with myself.
Okay.
Like, I love myself, but at the end of the day, I always compare myself to someone else. Both to make me feel better, and then people that make me feel like nothing. Rip.
Okay.
So that's what I had to say about that whole thing. I don't know if that's
Okay.
made any sense to what you were
That makes perfect
asking
sense.
at
And
the
that's
workshop, but
no, it does. And there are some people who do what you did. And it's amazing. And then there are people who just like really try to like take it for what it is I'm asking and just go with it. Both is fine. And so there's this I don't even know how to phrase any of what I'm saying, but like there's a place you come to. First it could be mental, and then when you start moving from mental to it becomes a reality, whether it's just a belief, a choice, or if it's actually just how things are. This idea of oneness, which I didn't talk about at the workshop, but so when you're like, and I speak from like these weird places that like when I see it for somebody else, or that they're very like specifically working towards that direction, I'm like, okay, like you get what I'm talking about, and then it's like, yeah, that equal understanding, and so I'm like, there's that head nod that's there for very specific people who like we reach the same point, and we don't talk every day. So like I feel that way with like Jeff and Darcy. Like we have the same understandings about certain stuff, and there are levels to it, which is why when it comes to discussion, like there's minimum talking. It's kind of like when you know people really well, but it's like we don't know each other. We're kind of just sharing a certain point, and like, oh, like I understand, and then but you trust that they understand because it reflects in the tone of their voice and their actions and how they do it, and you connect all the dots real quick because you pay attention to some of the stuff they're doing. It's like, oh, okay, you get it. So when we talk about like oneness, and how we all are the same, there's that weird duality of like we're all different, we're all the same. So this taps into the we're all the same thing, and then at that level, when you have developed enough to fully like embrace all of you at like the deepest level, and it's different because there are layers. There's like, okay, like I did this part and this part for the self-love thing, but I'm still struggling in this area, the comparison area. So it's like if you still allow that to happen to yourself, then that just reflects onto other people. But when you can conquer all of that, and then there's a certain point that just kind of like clicks in your head. It just clicks. Like the byproducts that I talk about, the stuff where it's like, oh, I don't know how to get there, but like it happens when it happens for some people. And when it clicks, it's like, oh, we're all one. And then you don't have the capacity. It's really, really hard to... That's why I laugh at a lot of things. I don't take a lot of things seriously because I'm just like, it's not that serious. I'm just like, we're all here for a short time, and it's like, it's cute. You're getting fussy over something like this when it's really like there's so much going on. And so, yeah, when you reach that place and you've developed that for yourself and that oneness is there, it's like you no longer, like when I was talking to Justin, I was like, I don't see like my family taking shots at me the way that like if I was him, it's like, oh, they're coming at his life and he felt a certain way, whereas like the mindset that I'm at now and the way I perceive things, I'm just like, oh, like I'm like, damn, like you have a long way to go, and all I can do is just like continue to be myself and like love you as best I can. Because if I want to show you that these are the things that I believe in, then I'm gonna show you, even if you fucking treat me like this or see me this way. There's nothing that you can do that will really get under my skin, because and that power just comes from the self. It comes from, I went through it. It's not the same exact thing. It just might be like a same, like if you say like, oh, jealousy, it's like, okay, now that I've overcome jealousy, it's like, and when you test it and you're like, okay, or if I've overcome different aspects of jealousy, it's like that kind of disappears when you look at somebody else and you see it or whatever, or if someone gets jealous about you over something, it's like, oh, that's silly. It's like, I know what that pain is like, and it's not worth it, and that's what they're reflecting right now. It's like, I don't know. You just can't. It doesn't become about them projecting bullshit onto you. It's just like, oh, like, fuck, like I want better for you, and I don't feel like I'm being attacked by you. I just feel like you're hurting. And so when that all kind of switches, and then there's like there's an intuitive understanding of oneness that comes into play, and like actually feeling and like being connected at that level where you're like, oh no, like what happens to you happens to me, and I don't want that for you because I don't want that for me. So it's just weird, and I haven't even been able to explain that. It's just something that I understand through my practice and through seeing it in real life through other people, and then just reading about it with other people who really understand that notion. And then there was a point where I went so far with that, where I was like, because there was a funny phase with like all the homies who were just like, the woke people were like, you're not special. Saying it to certain people, like Nini would always get offended when and be like, you're not special. Like, I don't know who you think you are, but you're not special. Like, we're all the same. Because I started questioning, because of the passing of my dad, I started questioning spirituality. And I was like, why are the monks here? And like, oh, they said that in order for my dad's spirit to pass peacefully, we can't have attachment. We can't show that we're hurting and this and that, because he can feel that energy and then he won't be able to move on. And I was like, okay. So as a monk in this reincarnation cycle, moving up this fucking thing, I was like, are we all just here to essentially become the same? Which is like, because we have the capacity to become this light being that doesn't have human emotions and stuff like that. So then we take away our identity, our ego, our personality, all just, it's gone, because now we're like patient, high loving, detached beings. And it just, I don't know, I forgot about that, but and I was like, I'm like, is that what I'm here to do? I'm like, I'm here to help people, because it's like all the principles that we all use, and entrepreneurs and all the successful people, like happy people, like these are the principles that we are taking from like Buddhism and stuff, and we're trying to pass it on to other people. It's like, so eventually you're saying like, oh, the root of all suffering is attachment, so okay, then we'll detach, because we don't want to cry, because then the spirit can't move on, and all this kind of stuff. And the monks keep coming here so that they can help us move up. And it's like, if that we're like all the same, like we don't, it's not about having individuality and personality and all these kind of things. And then I looked into that like a lot, and I came to that understanding. I was like, it's like interesting. And then just coming across different people of like, well, no one's gonna live your life, and that's what makes you special, and or the chances of you being born is special and unique. And I was like, okay, like, because I won't like take something and be ignorant to the fact. Like, it's always cool that when someone brings up a different point, I'm like, oh, cool. Like when Toby was like, I have expectations and I expect to get disappointed, because I was like, yo, that's so fucking cool. So let me really think about that. I was like, interesting. And I was like, And then I met someone else like that, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to be like that. I was like, I'm cool with no expectations. So you just kind of choose. But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird intuitive, like, I don't want to see my people's hurt. So, because it's like this, it's weird.
That was so much.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was a lot.
You happened. What do you mean, you happened? Like, I snapped. Understanding starts with you. Yeah, like, I remember sitting at a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot, and I had an empathetic revelation, and I was like, oh my god. and I just became so much more patient and compassionate
What do
with
you mean?
others.
Oh, okay.
The
Actually,
revelation, like
yeah.
I don't know, I just it was part of my empathetic path, but I was like, because I started to be really kind to myself, and I was like, dude, like it's okay, like you'll figure it out, like you don't have to. And then it started to reflect in other people, and I was like, oh, he's rushing. I'm like, why? It's like you don't have to. I'm like, dude, like it's okay, like it's all good, like I still fuck with you, like I love you. You don't have to become this thing or whatever. It's like I fuck with you because you're you, not because you're gonna get a fucking degree. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, oh my god. And I'm like, because now that you've given that to yourself, it's so much easier to give that to other people. And then, like everybody else, like, and just jumping into, I remember when I talked about empathy, and you would say like feeling bad for people. I was like, it's not feeling bad. I don't know where you stand with that today, but I would always, like, most people don't want people to feel bad for them or like treat them a certain way, and I still, part of me is like that. I'm just more accepting if it happens, if someone decides to be kind or to do something for me. I'm like, sure, because then instead of being like, oh, I don't need that because whatever all those reasons are that most people have in common, I'm just like, no, I really appreciate that. Like, I'm not going to reject your offering because that's really kind, and like you're putting your heart and your thought into that, and like I don't want to disrespect that, and so I'll take it. I'm like, and then they feel, good about something, and then just good energy passing along, and it's like, and it's me allowing the doors to open. So it's like, yeah, help me, because before I was like, no, fuck you, don't help me with anything. And that's like, honestly, that's like a lot of us across the board. I'm like, most of us are decent people, and then there's the moochers, which I'm not really around, but everyone else is like, oh, I don't not ask for help or this and that. Like Jeff was going through that, and it was dope because he opened up about it to the team season 5, and he like gave me a look, and I was like, you're doing a thing. And I was like, y'all don't even understand. He's asking for help. He does not do that. I'm so glad that he's doing that, and I'm like, I've been on that same wave. And then there's a byproduct, all the byproducts that happen when you start asking for help or being okay with people helping you. You just start to appreciate it all more. It's like, yeah, I won't reject your offer of buying me food or paying for my gas. So I'm like, no. Like, why? Like, to show that you're modest or humble when you're broke as fuck and you're totally cool with someone buying you a meal. It's like, no, like if they feel like they want to do that, let them do that, because there's so much more that goes into that. And if you accept it, it just makes the world better. Like, and as long as you pay that forward, which is part of that deal in my head, that's what's up. You said you happened. No, that was a while ago. Dude, I'm confused. What the hell are you talking about? I forgot I had a Twitch. Twitch is where it's at, girl.
Hi, Bridget.
Oneness. Yeah, one with you. That's why I want, like, I'll never tell you what to do, but I will try to keep helping you go to wherever it is you think you want to go.
How does this correlate to the love thing?
You said you didn't understand. Like, okay, you said you have to love everyone equally or some shit, or not have to have preferences or whatever. Like, basically, like, oh, is where I'm at for love not good enough, or like not valid, or like is there a flaw in that, right? And the answer is like no, but when we talk now, and then my perspective is like, and it's not really a perspective, it's like the holisticness of you. You may not see how where your love limit is at right now affects the other areas of your life. So me being interested and really studying people, when I'll give you an example, like my cousin Tyler, he was like, yeah, like I don't know, like, I'm always like stressed and I have bad temper and like I don't know, I feel like this all the time. I'm like okay, I'm like, let's think back. I'm like, I watched you grow up. I don't know all the things that happened to you, so I kind of see how you handle relationships, whatever. I'm like, I have a feel of like who you are. You kind of remind me of when I was younger, like straight up. And we talked, and then I'm like, let's be hypothetical. And I said, let's pretend you have. We didn't even talk about anger or anything yet. I just made this shit up because I was talking about digging. And I was like, let's say you're angry because your dad's not in the picture, and it's like he doesn't you know, he's not, and like really, and like, you know, you kind of grew up with him, and then he kind of just whatever, and there's that separation, and then there's this thing, and so that's why you have a temper. I'm just making it up. Then when he really thought about it, he was like, oh my god, it's like I never thought about it that way. And I was like, next time, I was like, do you talk to him like that or whatever? And he's like, no, not really. I'm like, next time you see him, see how you feel. You said you hate him. Oh, you hate him. Okay. I was like, dude, that resentment and that pain and that anger is probably why you feel the way that you do today. And I was like, what you gotta do is you gotta find peace, man. And I was like, you could try blah, blah, blah. Because trust me. And so it's things like that where it's like, then he carries it into basketball, short temper, losing, poor attitude, carries it into his relationships, controlling, and he feels a sense of abandonment when things don't work out in the relationship, carries it into his self-esteem and compares himself to us. So it's like, that's what I'm saying, where it's like, the masculine mind sees things as parts, the whole female sees things as wholes. So maybe the love in itself and where it's at may be fine and that works for you, but I don't know if you're aware of how it bleeds onto the other portions of your life. So when I started doing this digging for myself, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, when I decided to improve this thing, I saw an improvement here. And I was like, oh my god. So I saw it in both the negative aspect of like, wow, when I'm this way, this is what happens with this, and like then I have less of a thing for like, or I feel this way with my kids, and then it transfers over to my friendships, my mom, my parents. So it kind of just like, oh okay. And then I fix one thing, and it's like, oh my god, this other good thing happened, and this other good thing, and then you go to that thing, you nourish it more, and then something else happens, and you're like, oh. So it's all connected the same way that mind, body, spirit, food. It's like, oh, you don't know that you feel like shit because you eat terribly or whatever. Like, people don't have that connection, you know what I mean? And so it's just talking about it, sharing that that thought, and letting you know that I've seen and I've felt higher love, and I'm like, oh, that's what that looks like. I'm like, and I saw it in you and you and you, and you're all in the same space, cool. Then I go over to a different like clique and territory. It's like, oh, I see it in you and you. I'm like, that's so cool. And it's like, and then like I don't see it in mad people, and I'm like, how do we help them get there? Mm-hmm. You know? And so that's going in depth with what I was saying. It may not seem like it affects something, but I'm always gonna like be that person to be like, it's gonna be like, oh, you probably can improve this if you want, so that this can help this. Because if you come to me with the problem, or if I see like you're kind of settling with the problem, it's like, oh, well, maybe that's gonna affect how your work ethic. It's like, you can only work 12 hours a day, but if you fix this, maybe you can work 14. Like, it's little things, you know. Like, you love music, right? So it's the same thing with like the whole, like fucking Jamie and Tony, who don't know how to chill out for stuff. And I'm like, if you don't fix yourself, you're just not in a good position. And then this, like, the worst thing, like Tony, like, oh, Travis Wong is in Boston and he wants to try and see if he can get me in the movie. And I'm like, oh, well, you just busted your leg or whatever because you don't take care of yourself. And because you're not emphasizing that, you're not putting importance on that because you're trying to train. But the thing is, when an opportunity is ready for you and it's coming and you're not ready for it, like, you fucked up. So the holistic part is like, maybe you should concentrate on your health first and less on your skill. Like, or find that balance, like whatever that is. I'm like, you guys aren't taking your health seriously. Like, I don't care. Like, you're making the small improvements, but you're not going the extra mile to fully recover. And that's annoying to me. And like, Jamie didn't come to my workshop. Why? Because his foot fucking hurts. And I'm like, when people don't look at the big thing of like, see, as a friend who's not taking 100% responsibility to really figure yourself out, you damage future things and stuff, and being present at events. Your health has to come first if you want to be able to say yes to everything. So it's like, and also mental health, so that you can make the decisions that you want. So that's why I value all that stuff so much, and no one sees it until something bad happens, and I'm just like you're okay right now, you know. And I'm just like, okay, keep storming forward, that's great. But like, if I'm, as a friend, able to identify something, and I'm just like, okay, it's kind of a problem, like I don't know if you're gonna work on it now, like, and the obvious one is like sleep. Like, it's cool, sleep early, whatever. Or like the stomach pains you talked about, you kind of go, it's whatever, I had it forever. It's like, well, maybe one day when you're in the studio and you're trying to you have a deadline, you're cranking out the track, you're gonna feel like shit, or you're just gonna be out for the game or whatever. Jungkook work his ass off, passed out backstage, and it's like, but you're on tour, bro, and people are like worried, fucking scared shitless, because if he can't perform, it's kind of a huge deal, and it's not just the performance, but his health is not in check. And he was like, oh, I see, because like I slept late and I woke up early and I didn't eat right, and I knew I felt it, but I just kept going. And I was like, see, it's like, you guys have to, it's important. So yeah, the whole thing. Yeah.
Wow. Now that you mention it, I haven't had those stomach aches in like a long ass time. Yeah, it's been a long time. I don't think it was the apple cider, because I haven't been doing that. I think it was just changing my diet.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's what's up. That was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
But I hope it made sense.
No, it was good.
I love you too, Emily. I hope you're still here. You're great. Wish you lived here.
I had a thought, but
okay.
I forgot because you kept going.
Sorry. Usually when I have a thought, I'll take a note so that I don't forget. But still here. Okay. Aren't you on Twitch too? Like, Twitch is better because the audio is like banging, and there's more action on Twitch. Sister, that's okay. We're going hella overtime. Like, you know what I mean? So it's all good. I'm still trying to, like, I know I do 6 to 9, but I'm not sure what I want this window to be, because starting at like 7 and shit, that was good, which I thought about. I was like, 7? And
yeah, 6 is early.
7 was popping. But I definitely am not trying to go this late in the future. I mean, this kind of just happens because I love it. But
I think the Facebook thing helps.
Yeah.
I can't believe you tagged me.
It's okay. I honestly think Justin's was the most intense.
Yeah.
Like, his has the potential to continue to create a dumpster fire.
That's crazy. I didn't know the thingy was like, the intervention was about him.
It's always about him.
That's crazy.
Because he, like myself, except a little worse, he's the odd one out. And he has to live with that. Hence why he doesn't like to be home. I was like that too. I'm coming home 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I don't give a shit. And then I started the sad thing, see a pattern I start to recognize. This is just random. Like, because I used to have dinner with my family, whatever, but then I would always subconsciously come home after they're in bed so I could eat alone. Because I just didn't want to deal with the energy. And then when I noticed that, I was like, dude, that's so sad. It's like, fuck. Yeah. Kick out Emily. But Twitch is annoying with commercials. Oh. But, you know, Twitch is where it's at.
I've never had commercials on Twitch.
Alright, so here's the thing, my guy. This is what you do. I'm going to tell y'all right now, okay? So we can have a goal together to get rid of these ads. That's what we do. I have to get to 50 followers. Okay? I have to stream 7 times a month. I only stream 4. I could make the other 3 happen. I just do some casual streams. I need to have 500 minutes. I already way surpassed that. 500 minutes is nothing. So these are things that I need to have in place. So at least 50 followers, 500 minutes, no problem. 7 streams, I don't do that, but I'll figure that out. And then once I can do that, it'll give me an affiliate. They'll blast me with an affiliate link, and then you will all have the option to subscribe to me. Okay, when someone is an affiliate, that means your boy can start getting paid. Okay, I don't really care about getting paid. It's just such a cool goal, and some of my friends have already gotten there. It's not that hard to get there. But the cool thing is that if you're an Amazon Prime member, which I know probably all of you are, you guys can sub to me for free once a month. And I believe, well, I know that when you sub, there are no ads. So that's what would solve that. And then I'd probably get like, I don't even know how much I get from a subscription, honestly. I have no idea. Maybe like somewhere between $1 to $4. Some shit like that. And you guys don't even pay for it. I mean, if you have Amazon Prime, that's like, ding, here's $1 or whatever, how much. But I don't even know if I get paid because I don't understand how any of that shit works. I just know that if you're subscribed to somebody, the ads turn off for them. So let's get to 50. I think I'm not even, I'm probably halfway.
I've never seen an ad on Twitch.
After some time it does. And it's weird. I don't know what triggers it or how deep in you have to be, but I get ads. I used to never get ads because I was a Prime whatever member, and I would only watch Lily. I think if you're just an Amazon Prime member, I don't think there's any ads at all, and then you can kind of just gift, and then you could sub to someone, sub to me, and then you get something. I don't know.
I see.
Yeah. Karla Franco joined. Kira Danish. Whenever I think of Danish, I think of Danish, and I think of a snack. Kara, the snack. Says, I don't know where we gonna end. When we're gonna end. I don't know when we're gonna end either, but I love these things, man. Is her phone down? Is Nellie's phone down here? Yeah, that's her phone, right?
That's mine.
Be right back. You want to entertain your guests?
Oh, sure. Just. Yeah, okay. My guest. Oh God. I don't know. Does anyone have a question? I love questions. I can never really just like talk, but I like answering things. So, yeah. See. How's it going? I miss you. I miss you too. How's it going? It looks like you're amazing, Emily. I love you. You definitely, like, when I see like your little posts and stuff on Instagram, they're so cute. They make my day. I'm like, wow, she's amazing. But I miss you. Why so cute for? Oh, Narnith. I miss you too. Oh, I miss you guys. I miss the summer. I feel like that's maybe one of the reasons why, like, I hated school. Like, just like that summer fall transition was like, fuck, like, I hate school. Like, not being around you guys was just so, like, frustrating because I feel like we really motivated each other and shit. But yeah, made some changes and now we're moving on. And I'm excited. I'm really excited to do my stuff. Yeah. No, she's not. No, she's not what? Oh. You're so mean to Emily. But yeah. I was gonna talk about something that Batana said about me the other day, but I'll wait for him. Emily, when are you coming to visit? You should come. How's school? You're a sophomore, right? Also, what's your major? I feel like I don't know that. This mic is in the way. Excited to do myself. Let us know when we can come more. Yeah, I want to go to Amherst. That'd be fun. I didn't go because I had work that last time, but I've been there once. I want to go more. It's cool. I have other friends up there too. So that'd be fun. Well, I'm not in school or working anymore, so I'm down to visit whenever. I'll be back in November. Yes, I'm just declared as operation. It's like cut off. Ooh, that's cool. Definitely. We should all do something. We should. Guys, can we do something for Halloween? That'd be fun. I fucking love Halloween. Is there 31 days in September? Or is tomorrow like October? Like, is it October in half an hour? That's crazy. Oh my god. Guys, it's almost October. I love October. Fall's my favorite. Seeing your posts make me... Make me what? I can't see this. He has it so it's like cut off like the other half. I'll just check on my phone. Seeing a post make me happy too. Oh, okay. I'm glad. I've been posting more. I used to be very like, I don't know if I want to post that because I have a decent amount of followers. Like a lot of people from like high school and then like summer camp, which is like all the way in Ohio. And then I have like some family. And so I used to be like, very like cautious of what I would post. But now I don't give a fuck. Like, I want to be myself more, and so I just post whatever and I don't think about it, because I think about things way too much. I'll be like, oh, what is this person going to say? What are they going to think of me? But I need to stop putting myself in that mindset and just worry about myself. Like, who cares what someone else thinks? I mean, I care, but I'm trying to get over that. So, yeah. It's gotten way better. What the heck is he doing? I hate fall. Kevin, what the fuck? Why? How can you hate fall? I love fall. How do I see who's watching? Tomorrow is October. Yeah, it's busy. I think Katana died. Guys, I can't believe I don't go to school. That's so weird. So like I withdrew from like 3 classes. So like technically I'm still enrolled in like my other 4 or 5 classes. But I'm gonna like officially like fill out all the forms and shit. Right up to before it's like my last chance to like take a W instead of an F. Even though honestly I don't really care about like what was I gonna say? I feel like college is overrated. like I know it's like it works for like some people, like that's cool, like that's your thing, like you need that to get to where you want to be, but like me and Kevin were talking about this earlier, but I was like, what's the difference between me sitting in a class, right, and I'm taking like all these quizzes and shit, and then like I don't even remember half the shit that I've learned through school, compared to like me learning what I know I need to learn and like being interactive with it, I guess. That's one of the reasons why I was like, man, I don't have $50,000 for school and I can always go back, and I'm really impulsive, so I just did it. I left. Now gotta do my own thing, but I'm excited. So when do you want to go on our date? Oh my god, our double date. I forgot about that. I'll go on a date with you whenever. I love you. You should hit me up more. Okay. You were watching?
Like for a few minutes.
Okay.
Like last few minutes. I haven't really
I want to talk about that post. You
You
posted
want to talk about the post?
the post that you posted about
Oh,
me.
what did I post? Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Okay, go.
Oh, did you want to like talk, like hit one point after the other, and then I'll just say like, well, this is what I meant, or like this is this. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, sure. I took a picture. When you
So-
posted that,
Mm-hmm.
I was in the middle of dancing.
Freestyle.
Yeah, because I like to do that in my room, alone, with no one watching. And then I had to sit down. Yeah, you really pissed me off, but it's kind of weird, like
That it pissed you off.
that, and like how quickly I got over it.
That part's weird, but super interesting, because I'm really interested in knowing how you got over it. Do we need that light?
Mm-mm.
I just want to see what this looks like. Kevin didn't even say anything.
Take the W, I'm serious. No, yeah, that's my plan. That's why I'm like enrolled for now until like the date where I can't take the W. I have like a month. I'll probably do it way before that.
Let's see. I missed this. No, she's not. Let us know when we can come over more. Excited to do myself. Okay. Remember, software operation. Cool. Seeing your post. Cool. We should all do something. We should always all do something.
Okay.
The first one.
Your life isn't complicated. You just make it that way.
Okay. That's just any level.
Wait. So, what gave you the impression that I thought my life was complicated?
I don't mean like your life per se, but it just reminds me of Nini, where it's like, except I think hers are a little worse, or more actually worse, where it's like I almost kind of correlate complication to indecisiveness, and then I'll throw in lack of perspective and or gratitude in that moment, because when you have those things, usually the indecisiveness goes away and the complications also go away. So when those elements aren't present, it's like, okay, like it's just all you have to do is this to get from one point to another, especially when it's a clear road. It's different when it's like something ambitious, but when it's like, oh, the obvious answer is this, like, why are you not just doing that thing? But it's small stuff. It's not. It's usually, I was just kind of like referring to small stuff. If you're kind of like, you'll say something, you're like, oh, I don't know, and I'm just like, oh, and I'm just like, oh, okay, like, And whether or not, like, how serious you may feel in those moments, I don't know. So
I think it's just more me finding something to talk about. Like, I never really tell you the other half of my mind, which is, I don't care though. Like,
because you do that, you do this weird incomplete. Because I know, which is hence like when we just connect that phrase with a few other things, with like not fully expressing yourself or just like sharing or saying what needs to be said. That plays into that, because then it makes it a confusing narrative. And so when someone calls you out on something, it's like, well, it's not their fault. You gave them 25% of the picture, but that's your choice. But then like that's the projection that you're giving, and so like I'll take that part for what it is, hence the first sentence, but I'll still add in the fact that I understand that you're not willing to share, or you're not in that moment, or it's not worth sharing because you don't care anymore, or whatever. Those other confusing elements that just do this, that's Karla, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. Like, so that's where that comes from.
I see. Maybe it's like a message, like Facebook thing.
Wait, what?
Like, cause I feel like it's hard to read someone like not in person. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Whether it's like a text, phone call, or yeah, or you'll say one thing and then the other day you're like, I'm over it, or not actually, or like you're good, or whatever. But then like it's not. It's like, okay, I know, that's fine.
This one I have literally no idea what you mean. Like, using someone else's flaws or mistakes to excuse your own doesn't change the fact that you're still making an excuse. Stop if you want to go.
I don't think there was that many instances. I think it just comes to. Did I say that again?
Nothing. I didn't say anything. Like, how did you even come up with that? When have I ever?
It was like poetry.
Were you just like at the concert, like writing all this shit out?
Yeah, I was just standing there. I was like, I wish I wasn't doing this right now, but I'm already started. Like, I can't even think of a specific example because it does not linger in my mind that long. Because it kind of goes with this one, except this isn't, like, when I say it, I don't even mean like, because I know you do, but there's just a but like these two kind of like, and I can't even think of specific moments of when these things happen. Because I don't think about it that hard. I'm just like, it just kind of popped into my head.
Oh, you said it.
It's like,
we can move on. There's many more things you said about me, so you can pick one.
I don't remember for this. That sucks ass. I can't even think of a specific example. I'm like kind of there, but I don't know which one. The blues kind of go together. I thought of those two. The real thing is, I had actually pre-written. I wrote a lot of these, and then then it went away, and then I had to rethink, and I was like, "Fuck." So I don't even know, but
when your ideas get shut down, you shut down.
Yeah, like say when you're on that, like, yeah, I'm trying to speak my mind, or like, this is a good idea, or like this is what's up. Like, any type of assertiveness that comes out of you is just like aggressive. And then if there's any time that there's something that kind of comes into play that isn't that, or it gets ignored or whatever, just like you kind of just you usually just kind of pass it off real quick, And I don't know. I wish I could just kind of like film those moments and be like, this is what I'm talking about. Because they happen. And I don't know at what level it's serious, because I don't know with you ever when it comes to your emotions. But they just happen, and they're just like, it's about like you snap, and it's those moments. And it's like, oh, like, why didn't you just say that like it's a good idea and not have to be like. And in some cases you do, because when I really think about it, I'm thinking about like food and shit and like ideas and stuff. It's like, oh, it's a good idea.
I don't know what you mean.
I don't either, because I have to just see it.
Ideas? Like what?
No,
When do I have ideas? Shut down. Don't shut down.
Just want to make sure nobody else said anything. Hi Takashi, I don't know if you're still here, but I don't know. Maybe when these certain things come up again, I'm just gonna say this is what I wrote about, because sometimes I just don't even. My memory's shit, so, and I can't think of. I don't hold on to anything, so I don't even remember. This one goes with those blue ones, the stressed and sort of shit.
You
being
don't
defensive.
speak your mind enough.
Yeah, this
When
one.
you do, it sounds like you're being defensive, or you just sound stressed.
But that it kind of goes with those sometimes. Like there's you that's calm.
What do you mean I don't speak my mind enough?
I don't know. I feel like in the moments that you want, like, and that's something I've always sensed from you from the jump.
Yeah, I know.
That, like, and then you say like, and one of the things for like, specifically to the group, it's like, oh, like I'm new, I don't feel like da da da, and then like, oh no, it's important. Like, it's important that you share shit and stuff like that. Like whatever, just share it. And it was nice when you were, and when we were doing the interviews and like kind of trying to go back. And that was nice, and it was brutal, but you weren't like a dick about it, which is cool. And you have those moments sometimes where it's like you're like that, where you kind of just chill about it, and you say it, and it's like, oh, wow, that like hurt, but like that's what's up, because that's what's up. And other times it's like it's that plus like followed by like some breaths and shit, and like I don't know. Yeah, I just, when I see it, I'm gonna just pull out my phone next time. But
Okay.
some of those things kind of just all kind of go together. Rejection, criticism. This is just like in combination with all that stuff. This, the speaking the mind thing. Just when and this could just be because that's just how you are. Or I'm reading it wrong or whatever. But besides that stuff, I think that. And the only times I can recall stuff are dance. So I really pay attention to like your facial expressions and your tone and how you take whatever. And so it's like, oh, like, that's why I said I don't think, and not like you don't handle. But I just kind of put it in combination with those, rejection or criticism. And then just like
I have a hard time communicating, like
failing and
offense.
regretting. Okay. Wait, you said you have a hard time communicating in offense. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like it's so hard because it's like a visual,
Like
intuitive
that's how I
thing.
felt with my mom.
What do you mean? Oh, like talking to her?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now
I didn't know how. I didn't know what to say.
And I understand the language barrier and stuff, right? So it's just like, and I understand the language barrier is hard.
Even like sometimes though, like with my roommates, like when we're talking, like I find myself like disagreeing with like Ashley, but I don't know how to communicate why, or like I'll just be like defensive about it. I don't know.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
And you just kind of snap, and then like it seems like, but the thing is like,
Snap?
no, it's not. It's not the worst thing. Trust. I'm just saying it because like it's an energy that you kind of put out, and then like when you're talking to your mom, besides the language barrier, there's just no conviction in your words, even if they don't understand. So like, and that comes from somewhere there too. And then my friend saw it, it's like he felt that from through a screen, and so I was like, yeah, like I don't. If I was your mom, like I just don't feel like there's any, like, you're giving me no hope, girl. Like, what are you talking about? And if I was your mom, right? Because I was just like, yeah, like, I don't feel convinced that you're about to go rip shit in half. Like, I don't feel that from you. And I was like, that, and I know you're kind of just telling the truth and whatever. I'm like, oh, it's okay. And then the thing too is like, and when you, let's talk about Kara. So you have discussions, if we ever talk about her, or if I've talked to her, and we talk about you, and I'm like, So when I see these two things, I'm just like, I see both. I see both. They're both valid. And I was like, yeah, like I get that. Like I get where you're coming from, your concerns and certain things and how she acts. And then you're like, well, she doesn't know who I am. But I'm like, oh, well, shit, I guess no one does. So when you're saying that to me, I was like, well, I guess no one does, if anything. And I'm like, well, then you can say, well, do you know yourself? And it's like, are you just not expressing yourself well? And so when people are overly concerned, then I'm like, okay, let's go into the comparison territory. Like, not concerned about this person, not concerned about this person, not concerned about this person. Like, what makes someone concerned about one person over the other? And so I'm like, okay. And then we talk about character and demeanor and stuff, and like the snapping and like unsure, I don't know, not know how to communicate, not finishing sentences, getting defensive, feeling like you're right, but then like your actions haven't proved it. There's no confidence in the person for you, and so like that's why everything's kind of like, and then you're kind of like, oh, like fuck you guys. It's like, oh, I just want to do this, and it's like, but we're worried because like your actions haven't, like I don't know, like we're not convinced, like. What the fuck? I don't need to convince anyone. I know, and you don't, right? And so that's why, like, when I've talked to you about, now just jumping to that you don't, it's not your job to do that, because you can just put your head down and do what you need to do. But if you're interested in being a better prover or communicator or whatever, then you would work on it. But and it's also, if that situation becomes a problem where it's like, oh, people just don't get it, it's annoying, fuck that, and I don't want to deal with it. Or it's like, well, no, I feel like I want to become better at this communication thing, so I'm going to take my time to do that. And this is coming from someone who had very, very poor social skills growing up, and I had to fucking figure it out. And I played with communication for a long time. Took a speech class and everything. I already talked about conviction. I just feel that. I just fucking feel that.
What's conviction?
Just like, I say, just like being 100% like, I'm on it, and that's what I want. And I'm just like, or just anything, like, yeah, do that, and fucking kill it, and like, it's over. And like, I can like, sleep at night and be like, she fucking did it. Like I have that conviction and that feeling for Jeff, Anthony, and Mike, and Lindsay. It's like, they have a track record, and I know it comes out of their mouth, they're gonna do it, or they stay quiet, they do it. It's like that, I can, there's confidence in that. So when they say they're gonna do, like, I'm like, okay. And so it's from, as like a person, it's like, oh, I don't know, I probably need more time, but I don't get that immediately from you. But I wouldn't feel horrible about that. Like a lot of people I know, just I don't feel that from them all the time. It's like, I'm just gonna give you time. I'm like, you didn't show me anything, and I'm like, well, it's been 5 years, and like, you're still, it's fine, I love you, and you do certain things on your watch. And so I don't expect anything. Oh, I learned all my lessons. And even like with Kevin, I'm just watching him. I'm just like, okay, you say this 2 weeks in, 2 months in, 3, 4. And I'm like, okay, like I can't bet all my cards on him and then give him my livelihood to take care of. Like, I'm just thinking from like a business or friend, like rely, because I don't know, you know. But all I can do is be 100% with him and give him as much as I can, not have to rely on him for something. So, but I know that if I said, hey, Mike Keslak, let's do a thing, and then I know what's going to get done because of his track record and his conviction to what he does. That makes sense. Okay. This is more like, probably not as bad as you think. Too much ego, not a spirit. So, the woke community is like, spirit yay, ego no, even angels like that. And I'm confused about that. But from my perspective, and some people even have their own definitions for ego. I'm confused. Who opened the door?
I was like, ego.
like, how do I explain this? I was thinking about this so hard because I felt like we were going to talk about it. But this one specifically.
My friends used to call me egotistical, so it's kind of funny. Like in high school.
I see.
It's a running joke.
So it's not a huge thing, but it's a wholeness thing of seeing it in your everyday to day. So spirituality, to be in spirit, to be inspired, to allow universal energy and communication from spirit to flow through you, and to be completely detached, and to be one with the universe and one with the people in those moments. So that's like of service for others. That's spirit. Whereas ego, some people identify as like it's just like a bad, selfish, like it's just you. It's like me. It's for me. That's why I do it. Or having to prove to the world, like you want to prove people wrong. I don't know if you say that as a joke or if it's there as just like a line, but like you don't mean that. I don't know because I don't know. Because I don't know. When you say things, I don't know how to interpret it. But if that's true to you because you're saying it, because it's coming out of your mouth, hence why I say that. And I'm like, oh, I'm just taking whatever comes out of your mouth. I'm gonna prove people wrong. I'm like, oh, that's fine. I'm like, I see that as a stage. I'm like, you can't want to prove people wrong for the rest of your life because that fucking sucks ass. But I've been in that place, and sometimes I tap into that space. It's like, oh, ego exists, it's real, it's there. Spirit in that community says like you must learn how to shut the spirit, shut ego down, to silence it because it's not who you are. Because realistically, you don't need to prove anyone wrong, right? Because spirit's like you are one with the universe, and you just be. You're on a mission, not all of these other things. But there's power in ego.
I think it's more like prove people wrong / give other people hope that could be in the same position. Yeah,
which is cool. Okay. I'm just talking about like the core of like, I'm trying to like separate the two and see where you identify and stuff. So with spirit being, oh my god, universe and energy's flowing through me and everyone else is, and like it's just spirit, so it's like it's communication, and so they're passing on stuff, and then that inspires work, and that's what I'm on. And it's not necessarily about the other stuff, it's just doing and being, and getting completely lost in that, which you have the ability to do and you've done. And then there's like the other stuff of like, me, yeah, I have to do this, and like that. To the point where like I feel like I see that more than the other thing, and I don't think that's horrible, because that's just my opinion. I think it's a constant, in my opinion, where I stand currently at my mental state, I think should be a healthy balance. While some people think you should be mostly on this side, no one really thinks you should be on this side at all. Me and Tony came to the same conclusion through our own practices, that like once we acknowledge the ego and we let it, like just acknowledging it was good, and then whatever, and then I was like, okay, cool, that's cool, and I was like, I acknowledged it, and then I put it to use, and I was like, oh my god, I remember, because I definitely operated from ego for a long time, with what you said, with those things of like, proving people wrong, but then also trying to be that example, and all those good things, but then doing it from like I'm hungry, and like that basic from rags to riches thing. Along the way, you jump into spirituality, ego's no good, and all that kind of stuff. But when I tucked the ego away, because I thought that's what I was supposed to do for a while, I sensed a complete shift in my energy, and I was like, I'm really passive. Really, I could feel lots of things, and I'm like emotional, and like I love people and shit. But I just don't, for some reason, I don't feel that same fire. I'm like, I don't know where it is. And then I learned, then I brought it back without realizing that's what it was. And it helped my art a lot. I was like, oh my God, dude, this is important. So I think it's important to acknowledge the ego because it's a real fucking thing, and just find appropriate places to put it and knowing smart times to use it. Yeah.
I agree.
That's my opinion. And that's completely like not normal for most people, because even Angel doesn't, he doesn't believe in like ego is like, yeah. So he's like, we're different, like I haven't reached that same conclusion. I'm like, I pull from both sides, and I think having the capacity to pull from both sides is really good. So yeah. I think there's more peace and stuff in spirit and everything. So if I feel like you're not at peace because you're still going through certain struggles, that's why I'll see ego more than the other. Especially when you're in a position of like where you're at now, and then like the proving and the climb and all that stuff. So then ego is on a power trip. Like, fuck spirit. That's how I see it. Because when you're for tapped in the spirit, you're kind of at peace. You're like, I don't need to prove anything anymore. I don't need to do shit. I'm just vibing. I'm the universe. See, I covered everything. You're always. I already said that.
That's funny because I feel like that's ego, like saying like I don't need to prove you. I don't need to prove anything to you. Like, I don't care about your opinion.
Because this is like flow.
Okay.
I don't know. Allow experience in.
This one pissed me off.
Oh, lack of empathy. Oh, I missed that one. I wanted to be epic and close it with that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So, how I see it is that you can live your whole life without it. But in my guesses, it will, you might, when I say downfall, again, it's me just like saying some dramatic ass shit for whatever reason, or maybe just not having enough space to write stuff. Because when I say downfall, you could interpret that however you want. Be like, wow, my career is over. Like, I don't see it that way. I see it as like your burnout will probably be that. And that's just a really educated guess based off of my past self and current friends who don't have that. And I'm like, there it is. And you question why. I'm like, there it is again, because you don't get it. I'll give you a really good example. I'm not going to throw names out here, but a homie, successful, he got his craft and stuff on lock. Okay, he has known me for a while. He's known all these homies for a while, and he doesn't understand why people here don't make the trip out over there, especially when he's doing important things for us, doing good things, whatever, right? And of course he's doing it for himself, but he wants to, it's like he doesn't understand. But then another homie of mine, also successful, better headspace though, he's able to just quickly get so many of them there, and he hasn't been in any of their lives that long. Very short amount of time. And I'm like, you see, you don't get it. he does, and you've been trying for years, you've been grinding, and you've been here, but there's something that you're doing wrong that this guy was able to pull off like that. They'll make the trip up hour and 10, but they won't make the trip 40 minutes.
I know.
Okay, and I'm gonna tell you, there's a huge lack of empathy. I'm gonna fuck what comes out of this person's mouth for that. I'm like, it's a huge lack of empathy. It's like, you don't get it. And I'm like that, and I know that, and I know I know that mindset. I was there, and I moved away from it, and I get it. I wish you figured it out. And the thing is, it doesn't just come out of thin air. He's cried in front of me, said things to me. He's said he's like, sometimes I get this feeling that I'm just annoying and like just people don't want me around. Very quick, and then like it kind of just ended the night and he bounced. And I was just like, see, he's aware.
Are you comparing me to this person?
No. I was just saying.
No, I get okay.
When we talk about empathy and stuff, elements, right? It probably doesn't play a part now because it's not relevant. But the whole thing. Because there's that, like, when you're hard on yourself, because you don't have empathy for yourself, you don't understand or you don't have the patience for it, then you're right? And then you don't have it for other people, so they're not going to give you that same thing when you really need it in those times. And you're going to feel like, damn, I can't relate to anyone, or I don't feel connected to them, or like people don't understand me. Like, I fucking used to write about that shit for days. It's painful. It's on the internet. So it's like that. It may not be the most relevant thing at the moment, but when you're killing it and all of a sudden you're like, why do I feel this way? Nah. And then you write another song. And you're like, okay, I feel better. But like the core, I'm like, my guess is empathy.
Interesting.
He's not the only person, but he's my favorite to think about.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I'm not mad about it.
I love you. A lot. More than you know. Yeah, probably more than you know. Yeah, you don't know. Who is the person who is still here? Because there is one of you who's still here. Reveal your damn self. I'm gonna take a guess and say it's Marnus. I'm about to end this shit.
Yeah.
I just farted. Okay. I'd say end because it's late and my mom. Oh, Mike was here? How did I miss that? Oh, Kayla was here too. For like 2 seconds and didn't say shit. Emily reacted to your video. And Jamie was here. I talked about Jamie too. Well, I'm about to dip set.
Jamie, I love you.
I also love you, and I love you, Marnus. So I'm gonna get off and see. There's about to be some drama later, but
What do you mean?
I'll tell you after. Okay. Level up, of course, all the time, every day, all day, 24/7.